Well, hello, everybody.
Hey-o.
Howdy.
Welcome to another episode of Sports and Spaghetti. Thank you for listening and watching. We're back. We are back. We got the views back this time. I'm so excited.
A lot of work went into this episode.
Yes.
We're glad you enjoyed it.
A lot of
We're
work.
up over 2,000 views on the TikTok.
5,000. 2,000 each.
5,000
Yeah.
views. How about that? That's good numbers right there. I wanted to take a moment before we start today and tell people that if we're looking over there, it's because the Jets game's on as we do this. It's a Thursday. I know. It's weird. I wanted to shout out Felipe, who said he would be watching this week for sure.
Felipe followed the personal IG after I shouted it out last week.
I'm sure he would have. That's why I specifically did not give mine out. Yes.
It's in our bio, right?
Oh, whatever. Shout out Felipe. Shout out Jaden. Then he's very respectful. And shout out to all of my students from this year who have subscribed and have helped our YouTube numbers significantly. A lot of it is them. Yeah. So, follow us on YouTube at Sports and Spaghetti, and on Instagram at Sports and Spaghetti Pod, and on TikTok at Sports and Spag Pod. And yeah, that's out of the way. And so today we have some business to take care of here.
Indeed.
I'm dressed fancy for the occasion.
Me too.
Okay,
Nail done, hair done, everything did.
everything did. That's right.
Everything did.
I clipped my nails today.
Wow.
That's right. I
That
know.
must be a rare occasion.
Yeah. I had open house.
Yes.
Open house. It was wonderful. So a parent asked me something silly. I forget what it was. I was going to bring it, but I'm tired. We have a cookie contest today. A cookie, not cooking, a cookie contest. And what that means is Nikki actually made cookies, as long as he's being truthful. Because there is somebody that we live with
Uh-huh.
that makes really good cookies. In fact, they make some of the best cookies known to man. And I will know if that person made those cookies. It's unmistakable when my mother makes cookies. They're distinctive. They're like little they're small. They're like nuggets of love. Morsels of love.
Whatever
Love
you say.
that.
Whatever
okay.
you say.
All right.
They're truly remarkable cookies. They're the complete opposite of mine, which are massive cookies. And so I will know. And if he opens that thing and there's some Halloween cookie on there, I'm gonna throw up.
If it's going to be the little...
The little
Little
pills,
sugar ones.
I'm gonna throw up.
That would be pretty funny if I did that.
Oh dear. Oh dear. So yes. I don't know, but we might have 3 different types of cookies. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try one of each, and then we're going to talk about them and see who made the best cookie. In order to see who made the best cookie, we're gonna rate each one. I rate each other's. And whoever has the highest total score wins. And if there's a tie, it will go to the polls. It's going to go to the polls anyway, but that could be a tiebreaker. Sound good?
Works for
Sound
me.
good.
It's the Cookie Battle of 2024. The last show of the summer. Because the fall starts, like, tomorrow.
I love that. I love fall. Fall is the
Get him
best.
out of here. And that means 1 week from tomorrow, you will hear our voices.
1 week from when this... Yes.
From Friday, you will hear us on WXCI broadcasting WestCon Wolves football. Not the Colonials. I got it right this time. The Wolves.
The 1-1 WestCon Wolves that we will
Yes.
not be speaking about because it's almost game week, and that's going to be for that pod.
Right. That is next week's episode. Yes, indeed. Okay.
We'll be in the den. That's what it's
Welcome to the
called.
Wolf Den!
We'll be in the Wolf Den. Blockity block.
And I do mean boat.
Yes, Andrew.
All right, who's taking the first shot?
Who's
taking the first shot at the king?
Who's the king?
It's going to be me.
Whoa, wait.
That is not possible,
wait,
Anthony.
wait.
You like honeycomb ice
Wait,
cream.
I think something needs to be said.
What?
I am the defending champion right now
Of what?
from the deleted episode.
He is the defending champion.
Oh.
From the last contest. That is
They don't
true.
know. But we know.
Oh, you are. That was from the Lost Files. That's right. You did win that. You won that at like 10:45 at night.
Yeah, that was the latest. I got home at like almost midnight.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough for all of us. And then it got better. Yes, you are the defending champ, so you should decide whose we eat first.
Well,
You also don't cook, so.
correct. I'm seeing something here, and I see that 2 people have the same cookies and 1 does not. So I think we should try the odd one out first.
Okay, so let me.
You made chocolate chip cookies?
We got to go 1 for 1.
Oh, I'm really excited to try them.
All right, boys. So I have.
Unless they're Titious. That's a cheat code. What do we have here, Tone?
I have the best cookies on planet Earth. This is my wife's recipe.
Oh, you know what, Nick? Get me a paper and a pen.
Why?
Because I want to do the same. Oh, you're just
I'm
going to
writing the
take.
scores
Oh, you're
down.
going to
Yeah,
score
yeah,
keep.
This is the kitchen sink cookie. I will explain.
Is there onion in it? Did you put onion in this, Aunt?
No.
Oh,
I have
thank
it
God.
written down.
The
So
way he looked at
the
it.
kitchen sink cookie. That is a brown sugar based cookie. It's going to
Okay.
have brown
Brown sugar?
chocolate chips, butterscotch, pretzels, a little marshmallow, topped with a little fine salt.
A little fine salt. That is indicative of a kitchen sink. Now, kitchen sink cookies are very popular these days. Okay.
I'll admit it smells good.
Oh, it's gonna be good. I'm sure it's good. Kitchen sink cookies are
The
delicious.
texture's top 10. The texture's top tier.
Top tier. All right, Nick. Let's try this thing and
Shall
judge
we?
it. It's good. Huh. It's a good cookie.
It is.
You know what makes the cookie real good? Sorry, Mom. Oh, man. Talk.
I like it, and I actually agree with what he said. The texture is top tier. It's a good firm cookie, but it's chewy as well.
It's crisp
All
on
right.
the edges, but
What
the
I-
inside's chewy.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
I love about kitchen sink cookies, first of all, they're very unhealthy. Now, and this is not what we're judging. We're got the cookie. They're like, if you see the nutrition label on a kitchen sink cookie from like Panera or somewhere, there's like 2,000 calories in the cookie. It's ridiculous. These are nice. They never make a small kitchen sink cookie, which I commend you for. I like this. You can eat one of these. It's only like 300 calories. I love the salt. The salt, and I know Melissa loves this about them too. The salt on top just goes,
Those are for you guys.
thank you. The flavor just goes pow when you add salt to something, but not too much. And that's what you've done so well here. That's beautifully done.
It's
pretty good.
In my opinion,
I don't love kitchen sink cookies. It's very
In my
good.
opinion, it is very good. But the one thing I don't like about it is the salt. It throws me off of traditional cookies a little bit. Like I don't think it doesn't make it bad, but I don't know. I didn't vibe with the salt personally.
That's right. So
It's a little sweet, salty, chewy, crunchy. That's all you can
where
ask
I'm
for.
coming from with this is that there's pretzel in there, right?
There's a pretzel.
There's in order for it to be even considered for a 7 or 8 or
It's
higher,
either-
it's got to
either-
be pretzel.
It's either pretzel or I was thinking potato chip.
It's got to be one or the other because there has to be salty. So that's a hallmark of the kitchen sink cookie.
I know. I'm going to judge it unbiasedly, just because
No, I'm just saying like that sea salt complements the salty
Yes.
pretzel. Then you've got the chocolate butterscotch. I mean, it's all there.
it does mix well. Yeah.
It's good. It's a good cookie. I have to go first. Now, when we judge these, I just want to set some to be honest with each other. I don't want to judge this with the intention of thinking you're going to judge mine higher or I'm going to judge or you're going to you know what I mean? We got to be completely unbiased here. That cookie, I keep wanting to say 7.5, but it's an 8. That's an 8. It's a good cookie.
I was gonna say 7.5.
That's an 8 for me. That's very
Just because
good.
I didn't vibe with salt. No
I
sugar.
would buy those.
I'll take a
Yeah, no, but the texture,
I'll take
all
a
around
15
good.
and a half, boys. Thank you.
Guys, I would buy that. Chat, as the kids say, chat. I would buy that.
Just clip that. Clip. Thank you.
How we doing, chat? That's all they say. When they ask me a question, hey chat, I'm not chat. So then I started saying it to them, and they love it. Oh my God, she's gonna love these. They're fantastic. It's 8.5.
Oh,
Whoa.
16, baby.
It's really good, and it's lingering with me, and I'm enjoying it. It's like a hug.
There would have been toffee, but we didn't get it at the store.
It's like a hug. That's like a hug. Thank you for that. That was a great cookie after a long day. Fabulous.
That was a good
Thank
cookie.
you. Thank you.
Fabulous. As a kitchen sink cookie goes, that's a 10. But like for my personal liking, that was an 8.5. That's a phenomenal cookie. Me,
I'd like you to go next because I feel like there's a lot of.
I feel like
He's
Tish
a
made
defending-
these cookies.
He's a defending champ. He can.
I just feel like there's a lot of suspicion around my cookies.
There is a lot of suspicion they're going to be Nestle. They're going to be the ones you buy and you plop on
Like-
the thing. We'll know. Oh, we'll know. We're connoisseurs.
a Nestle Toulousa.
What?
Nestle Toulousa.
What is that?
Oh
From-
my
it's
god!
from Friends.
Are you serious over there? I don't even watch Friends, and I know what he's saying.
I don't watch that garbage
So
show.
there's this episode where Phoebe. You mean like Seinfeld but better?
Sound it out, man. Nestle.
Toll House.
Okay, we got there.
Chris is about to choke me.
Don't you dare say that again.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus walked so Jennifer Aniston can run.
Friends is like Office if The Office wasn't funny.
What?
Friends is like The Office if The Office wasn't funny.
Thank you for that.
No.
The Friends is not funny.
Are you one of those
Correct.
people where it's like, oh, if there wasn't a laugh track, I wouldn't know where to laugh?
That's not what I'm saying. It's a good show, but it's not. I don't know why people compare it to Seinfeld. It's only because it ran at the same time. There's no competition between the two. One of them has a storyline. The other one is just funny. Like, anyway, they're both good. No, Friends is a good show. I'm just messing with you. All right. If you'll notice, I'm not persuading anybody, but these cookies are a different size.
Yeah, they're gargantuan.
They are my classic chocolate chip cookie. Now, please note the uniformity in the size, just like Anthony's had. And that's an important thing because you don't want them to be baked differently.
Ice cream scooper.
Yeah, that's what you do. If you guys want to share one, you can. You probably don't want to eat a whole thing. It's just the size that I make them. It's a chocolate chip cookie. It's a
It's gooey still.
It's a classic chocolate chip cookie. That's all it is. It's just a chocolate chip cookie. It's a chocolate chip cookie. It's the polar opposite of my mom's because my mom's are probably like, this is like Neptune and hers are like the Earth. You could fit 4 of hers inside this. You can fit 4 of her cookies in here. Probably 4.5 to 5 of hers. They're like that. They're like little dimples, little dumplings, if you will. Anthony and Nikki are trying my cookie.
Are those milk chocolate chips?
No, they are semi-sweet. They're Nestle, and I'm gonna get back to that in my segment. I didn't put that on there, but I've got a problem with chocolate chips right now. High blood pressure.
What, are they too expensive for you? Or,
It's $4.89 for a bag of chocolate chips at the store.
That's
How am I
insane.
gonna pay $5 for a bag of chocolate chips? They were $3 a year ago.
Wonder what they were in 2020.
No, they were probably 99 cents. Even the store brand ShopRite ones are $4.49. Are we kidding? Are we kidding? $5? What? Anyway, that was all I have to say. Please judge my cookie.
that was a very good cookie. I appreciated that
It
the
was.
chocolate chips were still gooey.
Would have been better if it was cold. No, I'm just saying that for clicks.
The quaff, I guess, I have. It's a very good cookie.
What is a quaff? That's a hair thing. A quaff is a hair. A qualm, are you saying?
Quaff. Quaff is to drink something.
Hey. What?
Quaff, drink something, especially an alcoholic drink, heartily. He quaffed pint after pint of good old
Ah! It smells like Southern Comforter. That's a Three Stooges joke for Dad.
Maybe we should try Qualm.
There's a
think it's
qualm.
qualm.
Yeah.
Quaff is
Yeah. All right. What's your problem with that cookie? Tell me what's wrong with the cookie because
I'm glad
there's nothing wrong with
I'm
it.
glad Nikki brought up the. I'm glad he brought up the chocolate chips because I do wish the cookie was a little sweeter. So I like the semi-sweet morsel, but if that was a milk chocolate morsel with a little more sweetness, I'm a fan.
I prefer the semi-sweet personally.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. You suck. You suck, Ant. You're so
As he
brutal.
continues to eat it.
It's brutal.
I didn't say it was bad.
No, I know. You're just so. You're like the Food Network judge. I'm like, how do you not like something about the cookie? I wish it was milk chocolate chips.
You don't want my neat impression.
All right, judge it, please. Give me a score.
Go ahead, Ant.
Ooh. Oh, I was getting something good there.
As far as we go with a chocolate chip cookie, this is your perfect glass of milk. Leave them out for Santa Claus. This is an 8 all day.
Thank you, Anthony. If Santa's not getting to these, I'm going to eat it first. Go ahead, Nick.
Like, I really don't have any issues with it. I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna 8.5.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Anthony. I didn't want to be the deciding vote there, but
You
I
have
was.
to be.
I did.
It's a contest. It's just a contest. Wait till he gives us a 10 out of 10 cookie.
Okay, boys.
We'll determine. I will determine if that was cheating, by the way.
There was a lot of love that went into these. I'm serious. A lot of love went into these. My heart and my soul. You guys used an ice cream scooper to make yours. I rolled them in my hands.
Oh, man, Nick.
Listen,
Wow.
I went all out for these.
Did you
guys.
actually make chocolate chip cookies?
I did. Here's your chocolate chip cookie. I don't.
I love him. He's so adorable.
And here's your
Look at
chocolate
you.
chip cookie.
These are not Tish cookies.
So, it's a spawn.
And there are your chocolate chip cookies to try today.
What?
I said it looks like SpongeBob. It's SpongeBob.
Could you guys get it together? I put a lot into these cookies.
The way he said it, Nick, it's not your cookie. It's
Would you eat the cookie, Ant?
no way. This is definitely not my mom's, okay? I have to say, I'm absolutely impressed.
Yes.
I am.
Is this straight from scratch?
Just eat the cookie, man, and I'll explain my story after.
Oh, there's a story.
This episode was his idea too, so
These chocolate chips almost look mini. Did you like cut them in half?
Just eat the cookie, man.
All right. Is it poisonous? Something's missing. There's like no
Nikki.
salt in the cookie.
Nikki. Okay. No, go ahead. We'll deliberate.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. I am going to start by saying I am really impressed with the texture of this cookie. I always will go for a lighter baked cookie than an overbaked cookie any time of day and month of the year. So I love the texture. It's very soft. It almost reminds me of like a soft baked branded cookie, like to be that was soft baked. It's very, very soft and airy. There was probably not a lot of mixing because there's a lot of air in here, or there was a lot of baking soda put in this. And so I'm just deliberating. This is just what my analysis. What I'm not getting is I'm not getting. Maybe that there's no vanilla. There's something that's missing with the flavor of the chocolate chip cookie that I'm accustomed to. Right? Is that what you're getting?
So, what I'm getting here,
It's good. That's like nice, but something's not in there.
is this a pudding cookie?
No.
Really?
All right, I'll tell you the story.
I'm just not getting a lot of salt
I was
or
thinking.
a lot of vanilla.
I was thinking like a pack of vanilla pudding, maybe a little chocolate chips, mix it, bake it.
I just don't taste salt.
I made this chocolate chip cookie from scratch.
It tastes.
all from scratch.
I'm very proud of
I
you.
made it myself, and I followed an ingredient list I found online.
Okay.
That's the story. That's my story. That's it. That's all there is to it.
That's what I did too. Nate.
So what were the ingredients that were listed? Let's hear what it said. I
let's
just
see,
want to
let's
know
see,
what's in
let's
it
see, let's see.
because that cookie is one step away
Butter,
from being excellent.
Butter, granulated sugar, light brown sugar, vanilla extract, eggs, flour, baking soda, and chocolate chips.
There's no salt. That's what it is. It just needs a half teaspoon of salt, and that's perfect. For me, that needs a half teaspoon of salt. Truly.
I'm thinking you overfloured it a little bit.
Listen, man.
I don't know that he overfloured it. Do you think so?
Yeah.
What are the amounts? Let me have the amounts.
I'll tell you the amounts.
I don't care about anything except how much flour?
I used 1.5 cups.
Okay. That's okay. That's not a lot of flour. How much sugar? What was the ratio of granulated to brown?
1/2 cup each.
Okay. For me, for him, you probably could have left it in the oven another minute or two. But for me, if you put salt in there, like if I sprinkled salt on top of that, a little bit, like of salt, that cookie tastes like way better just because the salt brings out the chocolate and the vanilla. It's a good cookie, and I really appreciate the softness. Oh, look how cute that is. That is beautiful. They're nice.
Looks like a Nilla wafer.
I like the color. I like how they're baked. I like the texture. There's just the flavor for me. It's not bad. It just needs salt. That's all. Just needs salt.
See, I'm in agreement, but I think I'm going to be a little harder on the ranking because I don't like the doneness. I think it is closer to cookie dough than a cookie.
No, look at
No, when I was eating it, you can go back and check the tape. When I was eating it, he was telling the ingredients. I was like gritting it in my tongue, like in my mouth.
Anthony.
No, it felt like cookie dough.
But Anthony, that is cooked. That's cooked.
I mashed it up real nice in the mouth, and it's feeling like dough.
It's not even underbaked. It's just light. It's fine. It's cooked. I have no problem with the cook. Now, the bottom of it doesn't look like this, because this is crisp, and Anthony's as well. Anthony's the same. They have a little bit more of brown on the bottom. They're a little bit more golden, but it's your rating. Sorry. What do you judge it? My bad. You know,
I want.
another question for you after you give that rating.
I really want to give it a 6. I'm gonna go 5.5.
Nick, I got a question. What kind of chocolate chips did you use?
I wanted to add my own touch on it, so I used the minis.
That's what I thought because it looked like pieces of chocolate chip.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the
The
minis.
semi-sweet, but yeah.
I'm fine with the minis. It just needs salt. I just need salt.
For me, if it was done a little more, that's it.
You don't think it needs salt? It just doesn't have a lot of flavor. It doesn't have that cookie flavor.
I think if that was a snappy cookie, the flavor would be okay.
Ooh.
If there was a snappy cookie,
Yeah.
the flavor would be good. Because it's soft, that's probably why I don't like it. His knee was down.
Nick, I'm gonna give that a 6.5.
I'll take it.
That was good. Like, I'm really proud of you for making those.
Thank you.
Not because I didn't think you could do it, but you've never done that.
That's correct.
You've never made that. You don't cook. So the fact that he doesn't cook, like he doesn't even boil water.
We're broadening horizons here, baby.
Like
We
the
are.
fact that he did make
yeah.
a chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, he did.
and it's cooked, it might be undercooked
It's a bang-up
slightly.
cookie.
It's a cookie. I mean, like, it's a cookie. If he brought that somewhere, people would eat
I was just
it.
gonna say, if I was at a Christmas party, it would be on the plate.
1,000%.
Absolutely.
That's what I was going for.
I have no problem with that. 6.5, Nick. Well done.
And the follow up to this story is that
Mom made them. No,
No.
she didn't make those.
when I
She
was
didn't make that. No offense.
when I was leaving the house, I had to go home to get them from TK's. And I was leaving, and I asked Dad if he had one yet, and he said, "Yeah, why?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Why?" And I was like, "I made them." He's like, "I don't believe you." So he approves of the cookie.
Yes. Oh, I approve of them 100%. They're very good. I would like you to make me some with salt in them next
I
time.
would say this is a teaspoon of salt and 5 minutes more in the oven away from being like a 7 or an 8.
If for the size of them, and for the size of this cookie, see the bottom of this one's actually. Ooh, look at this one.
Maybe because mine was bigger.
I know.
did
Look
have a
at the
bigger
bottom
one.
of
I would
this
say
one.
I did
That's
have a bigger
nice. Look at these. These are nice, Nick. That's done. Now that is cooked.
I am a darker cookie guy, though.
I know, but this is good. This is done. I want you to make them with salt next time. I want you to
Okay.
make some with some salt in it. It's weird that the recipe didn't call for any salt because it's not necessarily his fault because he wouldn't have known that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
definitely, if I saw no salt, I'd been like, why?
Maybe it's because the baking soda or baking powder.
Soda.
That's why.
Yeah, but there's baking soda in mine and
Yeah,
salt.
but because you went with the baking salt, but the baking soda, you don't necessarily have to go salt, right?
Maybe that recipe called for more, and that's why they're puffier too, because the baking soda is what makes the cookie rise. I don't know, I'm just brainstorming. I like that. We kind of like experimented with that cookie.
We need a True Moo sponsorship because your boy wants some milk right now.
Yeah, milk would have
Honestly.
made
Oh,
the
it would've been
situation all
perfect.
It
better.
would've.
Nick, very well done.
Thank you.
Before I go off on this tangent, I'm going to go off on this tangent. You guys put ice in milk?
No.
No.
Have you ever put ice in
I
milk?
don't.
No.
I don't think I'd be against it.
I
but
don't think
I
I'd
don't.
be for it.
Try it one time.
Oh,
Okay.
Here we go.
Just one time.
I will.
My wife is a big milk.
I
with
like
ice
the
person.
sound of it. I like the sound of that. That sounds good. All right, Nick. What are the scores? Who won?
Oh, in last place is me with 12, and in second place
job,
with
Nick.
16 is Ant. And Chris is now the champion
Half a point.
with 16 and a half.
I like Nicky's cookies. Thank you, Aaron.
I think
Now-
those are appropriate scores.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate winning. I'm not a gloater. You know that. Cool.
Just be ready to defend the belt, man.
That's right. I know. We'll have to have another battle in a month or two. All right. What tangent were you going to go on?
The milk and
Oh.
I thought it was going to be off.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go on a tangent then. How's that?
I'm with it. Is this part of your segment where you go over the good, the bad, and the
I do.
and you do it in no particular order? This is in no particular order with Mr. Chris Walker.
Thank you, Anthony and Nick. I've got a problem with chocolate chips. I said it before and I'll say it again. I went to ShopRite to get chocolate chips for my cookies, and it was $4.49 for the store brand. Get 'em out of here. I then went to Big Wise, and they were $2.79. So ShopRite's got a problem. I got a problem with those. They're not officially on the list. I just got a problem with chocolate chips. This is an all hockey in no particular order, so get over it. Okay? It's all hockey. I try not to because people at WXCI used to say, oh, it's the hockey show with some other sports. No. This is an all hockey one because the preseason is back. We'll start with the good. This is like a good in a strange way. Okay? Radko Gudas
Great beard.
was just named the captain of the Anaheim Ducks.
You said that's the bad?
Good.
Good.
Who is he taking over for?
Getzlav, who retired a few
right.
seasons ago.
Good.
Well, he has had a wild ride in the NHL. He is the 6th NHL captain from Czechia. So in 748 regular season NHL games, he has 182 points. Points do not a captain make. 39 goals in 748 games. He always seems to score big goals, though. 143 assists, and 971 penalty minutes. So he's really working towards that 1,000 penalty minute mark. And that might be what he hangs his hat on. He's played for the Ducks, the Panthers, the Capitals, the Flyers, and the Lightning since he was drafted by the Lightning. 66th overall in the 2010 draft. That's a pretty high draft number for the enforcer style that Gudas plays. Now, Radko Gudas hasn't always ever been the cleanest player in the league. And so when I saw this today, I was like, well, this is a strange thing. But I remember that the Ducks had George Parros on their team, and now he's one of the directors of player safety. So it just goes to show you that sometimes the bruisers and the attackers and assaulters of the league can also lead. I'm interested to see how he does. I think it's good because it's nice to see a guy like that be named captain, but now he has, and he knows this, I mean, he's an adult man. He's got his name and his team's name now to defend, and by that token, he cannot be causing problems all over the ice surface, right?
Correct. While you were talking about this, I've just been watching a video on repeat, and it is the video from the 2023 playoffs where he murdered David Kampf.
Oh, yes.
Let's watch. We'll put it over.
We'll
maybe.
plug it in.
Get a stick on it, but a penalty coming up. There's the hold by Brody, but man, there's a run by...
He just annihilates this poor man.
Well, he was on the Panthers playing the Leafs.
Bam!
Bye-bye. And that's not a dirty hit. That's a clean hit.
He annihilated. Dude, watch all the other angles, too.
Maybe that's charging.
Because you don't...
Charging, boarding.
That's not no, it's a... Oh, did he have the puck? Yes, he had the puck.
Dude,
Yeah, that's right to his head, too.
both of his feet come off the ice.
Ba-bam!
Both of them.
It's a big hit. Radko Gudas, the captain of the Anaheim Ducks. Congratulations to him.
What? I can't believe this is a good right now. What is wrong with
Nicky
you?
can't stand this guy.
I like Radko Gudas.
He was the only thing.
I can't stand him, but I think it's
Really?
good for him.
He was the only thing wrong with
He's
the
so
Lightning
dirty.
when he was on their team.
He is the dirtiest player, man. But good for him. And I'm just excited that hockey's back. That could have been the bad too, but it was the good.
I think it's like an eh.
No, the is a real eh.
That is an eh.
No, this is the most ever, and we're going to do it right now.
Okay.
Jeremy Swayman of the Bruins is still unsigned. We are well into training camp, so well into it, in fact, that, well, the preseason starts this weekend. I'm pretty sure the first games are Friday, the 21st, which would be, as we record this, on the 20th? No, Saturday. Sorry. Saturday are the first games. So when you hear this, the games will be that night because I'm not posting this till Saturday. You got to give me a day. I bet the rent will be up, but not this. Swayman is still not signed, and he's not at training camp because he's elected that to make it so that while he's not signed, he's not playing. What's happening with this is that the Bruins may well have shot themselves in the foot. If you recall, if you're listening or watching, if you don't know or you do know, the Bruins just unloaded Linus Ullmark. They let him walk to the Ottawa Senators.
They traded him.
Sorry. I have it here. They traded him. Or if I didn't have it, I literally saw it today. Yes, he was traded to the Senators. And Jeremy Swayman was to be their starting goalie. Now, this is a little bit deeper than just, he's got to sign a contract. So he has until December 1st to sign a contract, or else he can't play for the season. Sweeney, the general manager of the Bruins, said he's hopeful that he'll sign by December 1st. Which really would be disheartening as a Bruins fan. Because he's hopeful and optimistic that by December 1st they'll have a deal in place. Given Swayman's history, that is very alarming. His history being that he's coming off of a one-year contract that was awarded by an arbitrator prior to last season. So he's already gone to arbitration because there was disagreements on his contract terms going into last season. Here we are again, and he's asking for more money than the Bruins want to give him. Now the Bruins are stuck with, and all due respect to their goaltenders, Jonas Korpisalo would be starting. He's started in the past. He's a good goaltender. He's a 30-year-old veteran goaltender, formerly of Ottawa and of Columbus. He was a good goalie on some awful Columbus teams. Korpisalo is a capable goalie. I don't think he's not as good as Jeremy Swayman.
No, he's a very good 1B.
Exactly it. He's a very, very qualified goaltender in this league as a 1B, and would have been the plan. But Brandon Busey is the backup currently, and really he doesn't have any NHL experience to speak of. Nothing major, only an appearance here and there. So the Bruins, who are the big bad Bruins, now suddenly have this situation in goal, which is anything but what you want it to be if you're a team that has Jeremy Swayman on your books. Well, in the wings now.
Well, one thing that I've always noticed when it comes to hockey is you always have the elite teams with elite goalies. Who is the first person they absolutely always lock up? It's usually their top scorer, and then it's immediately their goalie.
I mean, this team is elite offensively and elite with goaltending. You've seen them the last 2 seasons. It hasn't amounted to a championship, but they're not worried. They're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to be fine.
I think it's a huge difference if Swayman doesn't play, though. I think it's going to be a huge blow to the Bruins.
That his wins above replacement was very high last season and the season before, even as he was the 1B.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact number. That's why I say very high. It was higher than most goalies in the league. I think perennially Sorokin has the most because he plays on a very, very team, and he's a very, very elite goalie. And that's just because of his situation, not because of me being a fan. That's just what the numbers are.
Goals against or the wins above replacement, is that replacement goalie like on your team, or is that league average like baseball?
Like baseball.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Because if it was like, if you're comparing it to your backup goalie, their backup is coming off of Vezina.
Right. And now with Korpisalo, that's more of like your league average. He's a good example of your average starter in the league. Teams would take him as their starter, but not the Bruins want him to be their 1B. And so this is why it's very And the Bruins have a very sticky situation right now. Very, very troubling. Not bad because it hasn't happened yet, but Swayman is very adamant about not stepping foot into a Bruins facility until he has money. And to be honest with you, after the seasons he's had, I don't blame him.
I can't say I feel bad at all.
I don't care either. They could have Korpisalo all they want. You could have whoever you want. I don't care. The bad of the week is that I'm really sad about the best fourth line in hockey because it's definitely over. And by the best fourth line in hockey, I do mean Cal Clutterbuck, Matt Martin, and Casey Cizikas of the Isles. This is me as a fan putting them on the bad because, not the Islanders, just putting the situation on bad. I'm very upset. For the better part of the last 13 seasons, the CCM line has been a thing on the island. The Clutterbuck, Cizikas, Martin line. I'm excited that there's going to be a new, younger fourth line. Let's face it, their time has come. I will really miss them, and the main reason I'm going to miss them, besides the grittiness of that line, as well as the production capability with Cizikas and really Martin and Clutterbuck, who are scoring 10-plus goals a season for the better part of those 13 seasons, which is excellent. 10-plus goals a year from your fourth line, each of your guys, that's fantastic. Cizikas had over 20 last season. Just amazing stuff. This line was one of the few remaining connections that Grammy actually had with hockey. She loved the fourth line. She loved Shutterbug, also known as Clutterbuck. She loved Matt Martin and Cizikas. Well, she liked him too, but she really liked Clutterbuck and Matt Martin, who are bona fide grinders. And so this was one of her last, one of the last few connections that she had in hockey that still existed. Sidney Crosby's obviously there. He just signed a new contract. But you know what I mean? It's like tough to see it And the reason why it's over, sorry, Ant, is that Cal Clutterbuck has been confirmed to not be returning. They're not going to re-sign him. And Matt Martin is on a professional tryout.
So have you seen what their fourth line looks like?
Go ahead.
As of this morning with the dailyfaceoff.com,
Yep.
love these guys. Their fourth line, I can't scroll now. It's looking like Maxim Siplikov,
Yep.
Casey Cizikas, and Julien Gauthier.
Gauthier. That won't be the fourth line. That's just for training camp. Don't worry about it. They've got guys. Don't
We
worry
have
about
Duclair on the first line.
it. Yeah.
It's an instant win.
You know, yeah. I don't think they're going to be. I'm not worried about their fourth line this season. I'm worried about all four lines. But
There you go.
That's that. That's in no particular order. Yes. Shout out to Grammy. It's really a bummer. It makes me sad. Like it's truly when I saw that Clutterbuck wasn't coming back today when I was doing this, and when Maddie is on a PTO, I was like really hurt by that. That really was sad. But it's time. 13 seasons as a line combination.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's just insane. Anyway, that's that. We'll move on.
I mean, you just finished that last segment with "That's insane." Do we want to keep talking insane?
Yes, we want to talk insanity, Anthony.
I'm looking at the camera right now.
Oh boy.
Panthers are going to win 9 games.
Oh.
Where's the hat?
Yeah, get the
Put
hat
that
out.
thing back on. Take that stay full off. This is not even for show. For show business. This is silly. It's even more ridiculous with those glasses. Unbelievable. They're going to win 9 games with Big Red?
And I'm going to tell you exactly how the rest of their schedule is going to play.
Tell him, because
Oi.
while you get that up, he's got a little gray in the red beard, but maybe he's what the team needs to win a ball game. He's only made 21 starts over the last 3 years, has Andy Dalton Ant. 14 of them came 2 years ago with the Saints, but maybe this plays into you in a good way. He is coming in with a 4-0 record lifetime against the Raiders with 114.2 passer rating, his third highest against any team.
Listen here, boys. We started off slow, okay? We dropped one to the Saints. We dropped one to the Chargers. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They go down as an L. It doesn't matter if they lost 100-0 or 99-98. It doesn't matter. It's an L no matter what. But the Raiders, they're going to beat.
How many points have they scored this season?
Doesn't
13?
matter. This is a big one. They don't ask you how many. They ask you. No, they don't ask you how. They ask you how many.
And it's 13.
They're going to beat the Raiders, and then you ready for the surprise? The surprise of the season. They're gonna defend the bank, right? And they're gonna beat the Cincinnati Bengals at home. They're gonna beat the Bears. They're gonna beat the Falcons. They're gonna beat the Commanders. They're gonna beat the Broncos. So that's a nice 6-game win streak.
8.
They're going into week number 9, 6-2. They're gonna drop one to the Saints. They're going to demolish the Giants in Germany. This is going to be the second worst thing that happened in Germany. Then they're going to go into their bye with 3 losses.
Having to play that game is United States' penalty for their involvement in World War II.
They're going to get donkeyed by the Chiefs. We know
That
this.
whole game is a sham.
No,
They're
it's the punishment for Germany, really. That it has
really
to be played
is.
there. That
They're-
they have to watch that.
They're going to beat the Bucks at home. They're going to lose to Philly. They're going to lose to Dallas.
Wait a minute. How many wins in a row are they going to have? 8?
They're winning 6 in a row, and then they're dropping one to the Saints, and then they get right back on track, the GBOT with the Giants, and they're going into the bye week. They're going into their bye week 6-3, baby. After the bye week, they drop one to the Chiefs.
This show loses credibility when he talks about this team. Anthony.
9-8.
Anthony!
Wait,
6-game winning streak!
I want to hear how we got to 9-8 after the bye week.
We're 6-3 so
6-3
far.
after the bye week.
6-3
So we have
after the bye week.
So that means they have to go 3-5 to finish the season.
They're playing Kansas City at Bank of America, so
Hold
that's
the
another
L.
loss.
Okay.
That's going to be 6-4.
6-4.
That's 70-0 right
Then they
there.
play. Then they play the Bucks at the Bank. That's a win right there. So we're at 7-4.
Okay.
They play Philly in Philly. That's 7-5.
They might beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia's trash.
They play Dallas at the bank. That's 7-6.
Yep.
Dallas is.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's
terrible
1,
too.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
That's got to be 8-6.
8-6.
Yeah.
Whoa, where did we get the other one? Oh, the Bucks.
Yeah.
That's
Then we got
okay.
the Cardinals at the bank. They're going to beat the Cardinals, and then they drop the next 2 games on the road against the Bucks and the Falcons. So they split against the Falcons. They split against the Bucks. They get swept by the Saints, and then they beat out of their division. They beat the Raiders, the Bears,
so
the Bengals, the Broncos, the Commanders, the Giants, and the Cardinals.
Nick, what do we really think? I think this game this week will either show what a Canales system really looks like with a competent quarterback. And I'm not saying anything wrong about Andy Dalton. He's proven himself in the NFL. He's an NFL quarterback. He's started many years.
He's 3 Pro Bowls.
Okay? This guy is he's not a winner. Right? No win. No Super Bowl.
No, he was with the.
With Cincinnati.
he was the first
He's had a good
Cincinnati.
career.
He was the first Cincinnati playoff win in a very long time.
He's had a good career, a long, successful career in this league. He knows what he's doing. He's not going to be nervous. He's not going to be overly nervous.
That's correct.
It could show that, or it will show what an absolute dumpster fire of an organization this is, and that it had nothing to do with Bryce Young that they lost. I don't think there's any in between. I don't think it's a middling type of game. I think we're going to see one thing or the other thing. And to be honest with you, Anthony, I can get on board with them winning this game. The problem I have with that is that they suck. They have no indications
Okay.
of
Okay.
any
Pause.
success.
Pause. Let's see how well you pay attention to football, Chris. How's their offensive line been doing this year?
Terrible. They lost 2 games.
Has their offensive line been terrible?
Well, they give up 47 points, and they've
Does
scored
their offensive? Does their offensive? No.
How many
no,
points did they
no,
score last game?
No. Does their O line give up points?
No, but how? Well, they can.
Does their O line give up points?
He's getting angry. How many points did they score last game?
Doesn't matter how many
3.
points they lost.
3 points.
That's
how
all-
many points did they score the other game?
10.
Okay.
They
So they
lost.
scored 13 points. So the O line is doing something wrong.
Okay, they're doing. They are the number 5 rated pass blocking offensive line in the league.
Okay. Well, they still suck.
They know.
What's the point? What's
Bryce
the point?
Young was hurried 4 times in the game against the Chargers.
So
Chris.
I don't care about the offensive
Joey,
line.
no,
because the offensive line does not a team make.
No, yes, it
They lost horribly 2 weeks in a row with the 5th best offensive line.
Okay, so did Dallas. Dallas got blown out. Are we worried about Dallas? No.
We're not.
Because I'm worried about. I'm worried about the Cowboys too. They suck too. Listen, man, this is the beauty of not having a team. I don't care what I say. Anthony, this team is so bad.
It's no, it's not. The numbers are deceiving.
Do we still
Chris.
have that list from last week?
Where's the scroll? You're telling me that all those guys you have a problem with the whole team, and you're telling me they're not bad.
There is going to be no, because again, I thought they were going to come in competent. I thought they were going to play as if they played against Buffalo in the last preseason.
That was
game.
a pipe dream.
That did not happen. That did not happen. They come in without Derek Brown,
Yes.
and they play a decent game for the first half against the Chargers. The only reason the defense is as bad as the defense is because they did not get a first down until the last drive before halftime. They didn't have they had 1 first down at halftime.
Who, the Panthers?
The Panthers
Okay.
had 1 first down at halftime. The very next play after they got the first down, Bryce threw a pick. Now the reason is because of the play calling. And the play calling is bad because Bryce Young cannot operate an offense higher than a Pop Warner level.
Okay.
I can agree to that. I can
That
agree to
is
that.
true.
I can agree to that. So
But-
this is the litmus test. They're going to come out. Andy Dalton, who is competent, knows how to step up in a pocket, knows how to not throw into double coverage when you have 3 wide open curls for a first down. Not throw with anticipation in double coverage. He is going to come in. He's going to run the Dave Canales offense, and it's not going to be run, short pass, run, short pass, run, short pass, like it has been the last 2 weeks.
I just said that I could see them winning this game.
They're going to.
I think Andy Dalton is way better than Bryce Young. And so, like I said, I think it will either show what the system really looks like or it will be just as bad of a train wreck. And I'm not saying that the O-line is good or bad. I don't know about the O-line. What do I know? I play hockey. Do I look like a lineman? God!
We know I know about the O-line.
I know you know about the O-line. That's all you do. That's a good thing. However, if they didn't get a first down, okay, it's not on the O-line, right, completely. It's on the terrible quarterback.
Yes.
But the O-line isn't dictating the success of the team when you have garbage behind the O-line. And so
Yes, the only piece of garbage behind the O-line at this point has been the quarterback.
okay, and so that's why you've lost 2 games.
Well,
Yes.
I feel like,
but also the 47 points against didn't help the first time.
I feel as if.
Okay, two things. Well,
What was the other one?
No,
27?
I just feel as if we're missing a thing right here, which is that who is Andy Dalton going to be throwing to?
Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen?
I wouldn't say that those are elite receivers.
If Deontay Johnson did not get traded, he would still be the number 1 on the Steelers over Pickens. I do not think Pickens is good. Adam Thielen, Pickens has one. That's all he does. He has one unbelievable
Anthony's
out of bounds
going.
catch. He has one unbelievable out of bounds catch, and then he does nothing for the rest of the season.
Okay. Okay. All right.
They have Adam Thielen, who has had over 100 catches in the last 10 seasons in a row.
That's. I'm not saying. I didn't say that. Nick said that. Okay. I'm not saying they're going to lose this game, but I don't think they're going to win 6 in a row. I think that's a little bit insane.
Maybe not the
A la
Bengals
my
game.
segment.
Maybe not the Bengals game.
I don't think they're going to win 3 games this season. To be honest with you.
They're going to win at least 3 just because they play the Giants, the Commanders, and the Raiders.
What happens when the Giants beat them?
I'll turn Madden off.
No, I would really like to know what is going to happen on that episode.
I don't think
when
the
we
Giants
come in.
can beat them. I don't think the Giants can beat them at all, to be honest.
If we come in that week
I don't think
and
they
we find out that the Panthers have lost to the Giants, what are we doing?
I don't know. We got to decorate
gotta
the room
get-
Giants.
We got to get a whole clown outfit for him.
Yeah. That would be really.
Oh my God, I'd look like John Wayne Gacy.
No! That gives me nightmares, and I don't even hate clowns. No, we're not doing Gacy.
No, it's because of the size I am, is what I was getting at.
Yeah, he also killed people dressed as a clown.
Couple.
Just a few. Under the
Anthony might
floorboards.
kill a few people if the
What
Giants
was it,
win that
40
game.
something? It was
Yeah.
insane.
Under
Put
the
him under the floorboards. Jesus. Weezus. Anyway, let's talk about something else now. Yes,
I
Nick?
do really have one question before we move on.
Oh.
I really do. I forget what day it was. It was a couple days ago, I think. I read a text message that said, I'm more confident in this team now than I ever was before.
Yes.
Do you
Why?
mean ever? Like in your life?
No, this season.
Just because of Andy? Was that the
I think
purpose
that's
of
a
that
good
text?
enough
Because
reason to
when
be more
you're
confident.
watching, so I've watched every snap of this. I've broken film down at work while I'm sorry, guys. We know I don't do much. I've broken film down at my job. He's not making any adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Now, I don't know if he's allowed to, but I mean, the guy sees he has 3 unblocked Saints on his left side. He has Miles Sanders to the right, and he doesn't even audible Miles Sanders over to the other side. He doesn't change his protection. He doesn't do anything. Again, I don't know if he's allowed to. I don't know if Canales lets him. But you watch some of these passes, and this guy is overlooking wide open receivers, and he's throwing with anticipation into double coverage, and it ends up being an interception. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to throw with anticipation, not when you're staring the guy down the whole play.
So your confidence is because of Andy Dalton?
Absolutely, my confidence is
Okay.
because of
I
Andy
think that's a fair
No, that is
statement.
fair. I think they'll be better because of him.
Now, there's 2 things that I think can happen here, right? So you could either Andy Dalton wins a game, you rock and roll with Andy, they win however many games they have, or this could be a very similar situation to when the Dolphins sat Tua for those couple weeks. Let him rest, let him recoup everything. Fitz played, Fitz did decent, and then they brought Tua back in. Now, I think that's a good way to lose your locker room if you're Dave Canales, and I think because you've made this decision, you kind of have to sit with this decision.
At least 4 or 5 games, unless this game proves that Dalton is worse somehow than Bryce Young. But I don't think you could.
But that's the thing. I mean,
I mean, it's hard to do worse than
I
him.
can't see anybody being worse than Bryce Young in this
Right.
offense. And it's not because he's not talented. The guy is, there's a reason he's a Heisman winner. There's a reason he went number 1 overall. But, I mean, the guy has, you could tell he has no confidence. He has no drip. He does sound a little sus in his cadence. Like, it just, I'm not sold right now. And I think he needed preseason snaps. He didn't get the preseason snaps, and that's on Dave Canales. And I think he's, I think he's paying the piper.
Very good, Anthony.
Thank you.
He knows his team.
I'm breaking a sweat right now.
You got mad at me. Let's talk about the Ravens and some other 0-2 teams. So I asked the question, are the Ravens fraudulent? The reason why I'm asking the question is because I saw an incredible stat. So they and 8 other teams are winless.
Okay, I have him because I was going to bring this up.
Hold on.
Okay.
Of the 162 teams in the NFL that have started 0-3 since 1990, so that's 34 years, only 4 of those 162 teams came back to make the playoffs. That's from an 0-3 start. And of those 4, only 2 won their division. So what that means is if the Baltimore Ravens were to somehow go 0-3, they have a 2.5% chance to make the playoffs.
Yes, stats mean things. The one of the last teams to ever do that was the Tennessee Titans. They were 1 game away from the Super Bowl. They were half away from the Super Bowl. I have it in my notes. This is my other fantasy group chat. Shout out, fellas. You know my delusion. You've known my delusion since I was 13 years old. Anyway, the Ravens are 0-2. The Bengals are 0-2. Jags, Colts, Titans, Rams, and then Carolina and the Giants. Who's the only team we're hitting the panic button on?
The Ravens.
The only one where they're like, this team's trash, they're not good. They're saying it's the Panthers.
Oh, the Panthers, there's no panic button. They suck.
There's no need to worry about the Ravens. The only thing that gives me the heebs about the Ravens is I don't think they have a culture. I don't think they have an offensive culture. I don't think there's really a go-to playmaker. I think Lamar's just trying to do what he has to do. I think they're going to reestablish the ground game with Derrick Henry. Everybody knows Derrick Henry starts up. His season doesn't start until January for the most part anyway, or December. And listen, I'm not worried about the Ravens. They're a very well-coached team. They have a good defense. Their last two losses are kind of garbage.
I'm not worried about the Ravens.
You're
Honestly,
not.
not at all.
That's why I asked the question, are they frauds? Because
I don't think so. I think
I'm not saying they are.
I forget what happened in their first week game, but last week they had an unlucky going. I think, like at the end, didn't they lose by 1?
Yeah, I believe it was 1. Their week 1 was against the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, they've had 2 tough luck losses
Yeah.
where they didn't necessarily play the worst football, and Lamar has not been bad, but there are some people, and I think it's just pressure being put on them. There are people that are like, oh, this team is in trouble. I mean, now if they go 0-3, are you still not worried about them?
I'm a little more worried than I once was.
No, I have no worries. The leaders of that division right now are the Steelers, and if you go firepower for firepower, the Steelers' offense is better, and the defenses, or the Ravens' offense is better than the Steelers' offense, and the defenses are comparable. I think Pittsburgh has a little bit of a better defense, but they're comparable.
Okay, that's fair because I don't know divisions in football. Like I really don't know what team belongs to any division.
Steelers, Ravens, Browns, and Bengals.
The Ravens will be fine if they go 0-3.
I agree with you guys. I just wanted to see what you guys had to think. I was going to talk about Cooper Kupp, but his injury is not serious. His high ankle sprain is not serious, and he is not going to be
According
IR'd
to who and when?
today.
According to Sean McVay this morning.
Sean McVay said he's not going on the IR. It's not a long-term injury. It's just a high ankle sprain.
This is really good to know. Thank you, guys.
Because there was a huge potential panic for the Rams there if both of their star wide receivers were out. But it looks like Kupp won't miss time. I mean, he may be limited in week 3, but I don't think there's any panic there. It was going to be a panic, but then I saw that today. Yeah, that was
I
a
had
big
5 trade offers in the works. I was ready to get rid of him.
So one thing I did notice when I was at work today, if it's not about my team or teams I don't hate, my takes really aren't that bad. My delusional takes are about my
Of course
team,
they are.
as a true fan.
I
would
mean,
be.
so are mine.
Obviously.
The Islanders. Duh.
But I still don't think the Saints are that good.
Oh, we're going there.
I still think they're a lot of flash, and teams are going to get used to it. Because if you look at how they win, it's like, oh, Shaheed over the top, and then Alvin Kamara just runs the ball. Like,
I mean, they did have two very convincing
Chris,
wins.
they haven't punted at all this season.
That's what I'm saying. They've scored over 40 points in 2 straight games, and they've allowed less than 20. I mean, I know they're not playing like the best teams.
No,
but
the thing is, like, I can't see this roster. I can't
I agree
see this
to a
roster. I can't see these guys being a number one.
Well, I
seed.
think Derek Carr has gotten out to a very, very good start.
So. Did you hear why people are saying Derek Carr is having a good start?
Why?
Let me pull up the stats here, but they call him election year Derek Carr.
No kidding. Stop it. He
hold
did the
on.
same thing in 2020.
Hold on. So in the last couple election years, so 2016, Derek Carr threw for 3,937 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. That was
Raiders.
the lowest interception total he ever had. If you recall, this was the year they were saying Derek Carr for MVP.
Yes, of course.
Then again in 2020,
That was prime WXCI days.
he passed for 4,103 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions with 100.
Sirline just missed one left from about 30 yards out.
So 4,103 yards, 27 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and the highest passer rating of his career with a 101.4. This is election year Derek Carr.
And he is off to that start. So we'll see. I mean, if he puts up another season like
believe
that,
now.
that's incredible.
I believe now.
I don't believe in the teams because the teams weren't good, but still.
All right. I like where you're headed with that, Anthony. This is the day of Rant Anthony. Anthony Ranthony.
Ranthony.
This is Ranthony today. Something just
I don't want to hear it.
Something just occurred in Major League Baseball today, Thursday, the 19th. And Anthony's sick of it. Shohei Ohtani just became the first ever Major League Baseball player. The first ever, it's a family show. The first ever Major League first ever player to steal 50 bases and hit 50 home runs in the same season. Nobody else has broken 42 and 42. Shohei Ohtani is the first person to go 50 and 50. The reason why I brought this up is because Anthony has a huge problem with Ohtani.
I do have a huge problem with Ohtani because recency bias is a big one.
I don't think that matters in this season.
Is Shohei Ohtani rank this season he's having right now? Where would you put this in Major League Baseball?
What?
How good this season is? Like the best season anybody's ever had?
No.
No, I'm just saying like rank it.
Like in the history of
I
People
don't know. People are saying he's having a historic season right now.
Well, it is
he
because he
did
made
just break
history.
Yeah. Well, okay.
That is what makes
Aaron
something historic.
Judge had a historic season when he hit 62 home runs.
This would have been the 11th best season of Barry Bonds' career.
That doesn't make
I
it
know
not
we've
historic.
talked about this before. It doesn't
It
make
does-
what the feat is
and then-
50 and 50.
Okay, and then my problem too.
He's not the MVP
My problem here too is
for me.
when Ronald Acuna goes out and steals 70 bases. What do all the writers say? It doesn't mean he went 42 and 70. It doesn't mean anything because they made it easier for people to run. They shortened but with Ohtani, nobody's ever done. Oh my God, nobody's ever stolen.
But the clicks.
Who
It's Ohtani. The
cares?
betting
I
thing.
am
The Dodgers.
so-
It's all over.
I'm so sick of Shohei Ohtani. I've been
Well, you're
sick.
blaming the man for the media.
Dude, this guy, Ohtani, is so fun to watch.
I agree.
I don't.
His whole aura is like plus a trillion. He is fun to watch. I'm not saying he's the best player in the league. That's up for debate. There are a few names in that pot. But for me, I think I love watching him hit a home run. I love his swing. It's so beautiful. I'm not saying Aaron Judge's isn't. You know, I'm a Yankees fan, and
Oh,
he's
I'm
the
not.
MVP.
I'm not taking it.
He
back.
has a gorgeous swing.
I agree.
And he's not this season. Well, he might in the playoffs, but he's also a pitcher. But that's not in play today. The fact that he is a starting pitcher and man does all this. It's just an unbelievable athlete that we're watching, and I think that's why people get so crazy over him. I know that's why they get crazy over him. I get what you're saying with regard to the 50 and 50. Yeah, people steal 50 bases all the time. Yes, 50 home runs are reached, semi-frequently. The fact that it is a historic thing and that it's the Dodgers and that it's Ohtani, ESPN is what you're talking about. They make a massive spectacle of it, and that's the media. It's one of the reasons why I'm happy I'm not in it right now, to be honest, because it's the same as the news. They just blow stuff up so big out of proportion.
Like, it's just, it blows my mind because everybody's, yes, Shohei Ohtani has 51 home runs. He hit 3 today to go over 50. Judge has 53. There's a race. Nobody's talking about Juan Soto. Juan Soto has 40 home runs. Juan Soto, if Aaron Judge did not exist, Juan Soto is winning the AL MVP.
Oh, yes.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is casually batting .322. Nobody hears anything about that.
Nobody's talking about Vladdy, even though I can't stand the guy.
Luis Ariz has struck out, I believe, 2 times since the All-Star break. Nobody's talking about that. Chris Sale is having a resurgent season, probably going to win the Cy Young. Nobody talks about that. Shohei has a dog. Oh, my God. I hate it.
It's not Ohtani's fault.
It's not.
Don't blame the guy.
It's not Ohtani's fault.
He's just playing the games.
What is happening is now he is becoming like Tatis to me. And you know how much I hate Fernando Tatis.
Yeah. Except I think Ohtani's way better.
Oh, I think he's better too. But what the media is doing to this guy is ruining him for me. Like, I can't stand
Right,
it.
so be mad at the media because you don't like him because of the media. I mean, I'm sure people are tired of hearing about Judge because that's all anybody talks about too, to be honest with you.
This might be a hot take, but I really like Manny Machado. I've liked him his whole career.
Manny, yeah, he's very arrogant, but I mean, he's got a swagger.
Yeah, I like it.
But Shohei, 50 and 50. I just wanted to throw that in there to get it going.
I just think it's one of those things too where Shohei Ohtani is he's just going to win MVPs because his name is Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's like going into the halfway point of the season, he shouldn't have been the All-Star DH starter. It should have been Osuna from the Braves.
Yeah.
Like, what bothers me is this guy, he could have a horrendous season next year, but it's not going to mean anything because he's Shohei Ohtani. He's still going to be it's one of those things where it's like, he's still going to be an all-star. He's still going to do this. He's going to be a star.
That was Shesterkin this year in the NHL. Yeah, I get it.
Like, just not, and I see it coming too. He's going to have a down season, and nobody's going to care.
Right. Let's talk about the Braves in a little bit because we're going to talk about this wild card race, which is anything but decided. In the American League, okay, let's start in the AL. The Kansas City Royals are in the second wild card spot. They have lost 4 straight games, though. This team better hang on because the Tigers are coming, who just swept them in a 3-game series. Everything is wrong for the Royals. They've given up 18 runs in their last 4 games. And then there's the Twins, who are playing middling baseball, who are getting bounced from that wild card 3 spot within the week. I think the Tigers may take the second wild card spot. This team's won 4 straight. Schoolball is dominant again. The guy struck out 11 batters in 5 innings the other day. The Tigers have won 25 of their last 35 games. That's a long time to be good in a Major League Baseball season. I think by the end of the weekend, this team is in a playoff spot.
Not only are the Royals struggling, have you seen Baltimore lately?
Yeah.
Baltimore is not looking good.
I know.
Now. Realistically, the Royals, if they start winning, and the Royals could be wild card 1, the Twins could be wild card 2, or the Tigers could be wild card 2, and Baltimore could be wild card 3.
And if they play bad enough, then it could be the Twins, and Baltimore could miss.
That's insane.
Baltimore is not playing good baseball.
That's
I almost said football.
insane. And then one thing I still do not understand is how on God's green earth are the Yankees the number 1 seed in the American League?
Yeah, after all the tribulations, right?
And trials.
And
you
trials.
You can't have
Lest we
tribulations without
forget.
trials.
After all the issues they've had and a roller coaster of a season this has been, for them to be in first place and having clinched a playoff spot as of the recording of this, which is nice to clinch with John Sterling's return still to come. I can't wait
I'm
to
so
listen to the
excited.
games on the radio. You have no idea.
I'm so excited.
If you think you have an idea, you don't. For the two of us, at least. We might have to have a listening party one game. Just drive around and listen to the game. But yeah, the AL is very much up for grabs. There are 4 players, and you said it: the Orioles, Royals, Twins, and Tigers. Everybody else is either going to make it or not going to make it. But it's very exciting. And then how about the National League?
Start
They're beating
believing.
the Phillies by 4.
The Mets.
Start.
Following losing 2 of 3 to the Phillies in their latest series, we talked last week about them playing the Phillies a bunch. It was 7 games, so they played 3 and then 4. The Mets swept the Nationals. Very convincing, a 10-0 win. It had a Brandon Nimmo 3-run home run in the latest game. The team now is in the middle of beating the Phillies. And I feel like for the Mets, they need to split the series. And 1 game does not a series make. I don't know why I'm Yoda today. But even if they don't split, the big showdown, right? And it's almost as if the schedulers knew. The big showdown is next week, and it's against the Braves.
It's the final series of the season, isn't it?
I think it's their second to last.
And then Philly is their last. No, Milwaukee's their last.
Milwaukee's their last. I think it's 2 games of
Start
makeup.
believing.
The Braves, Nick, are melting away. They're very middling. It's not like they're playing terribly right now. The Mets are just playing very well.
You have to remember, too, the Braves are ravaged by injuries.
Yes, they are. They beat the Reds 2 out of 3, and then they face the very easy Marlins, okay? But the Mets, again, are looming. I think that series is going to be one of the best series of the season. I hope so. It's going to go down as one of the top series in the season.
It really could be all about positioning, who makes the playoffs.
Does Arizona or San Diego mean anything?
Arizona,
Because they're tied right now.
Well, right now the Mets are the second wild card,
Okay.
I think.
The Mets right now are tied
For the second
with
wild card.
Arizona.
Yeah,
For the
Arizona's
second
winning.
wild card.
Arizona's beating Milwaukee.
And so the Braves don't play till tomorrow because they already played today. I believe they won today.
15-3.
Yeah, they were up like 11-0.
Minnesota lost again too.
Oh,
The Dodgers put up 20 on Miami.
and so
Ohtani went 6 for 6 with 3 home runs.
and we're talking about he's not good.
I never said he's not good.
I'm just messing with you. And the other thing that interests me about this National League wild card is that the Padres are only 2.5 games up. If the Mets win like 6 in a row to finish the
Start
season, they could be in the first.
believing.
Like, I really legitimately think this team is going to make the playoffs. I think the Mets are going to make the playoffs. And so do they. And that's dangerous. Because when they think they will, then that's when they don't.
I'm at the point right now where, sure, make the playoffs, pop your champagne, have fun in your locker room, enjoy your 3 games. We'll see you next season.
And we talked about it last week. Give me my 3 games. Give me my 3 games.
There's one thing right now, Chris, that I want you to give me, and I want you to give me Grammy's Grinder of the week.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
I got one more thing. The Seattle Mariners are only 2 games out of the AL third wild card.
2 games out?
They're 2 games back.
That was my pick, by the way.
They're
Seattle.
2 games
Yes.
back. They're 2 games back. They are not out of it by
Listen,
any
man.
stretch.
Yankees glitch so I can sleep fine at night.
And that makes me happy. So do the Guardians, by the way. The Dodgers and the Brewers and the Phillies and the Astros are all in as well.
I think the only reason the Astros clinch is because they had the weakest division in baseball.
I hate the Astros. I just wanted to say that.
I agree.
I just hate that team. I think we all do.
Listen, man, I'm a big fan. I want Bregman on the Yankees next year.
I'm a big fan of when the Astros lose. All right, Grammys Grinder. You want mine?
Yeah, let me hear yours.
All right. My Grammys Grinder of the Week is a repeat from a couple months ago, and I don't care because it's my Grammy. And this was one of the players she really liked as well, and it's Kyle Oposo. Kyle Oposo announced his retirement earlier this week. He is truly one of Grammy's well-liked guys. This guy goes out on the top. He won a Stanley Cup. He's got his name on the Stanley Cup. He's been my grinder before.
Long-time Sabre, correct?
The longtime Sabre, longtime Islander. He was drafted in 2006 by the Islanders. He deserves this send off 1,000,000%. I would put him close to Hall of Fame territory for Grammys grinders, not the NHL. He didn't have the stats.
He's in the Islander Hall of Fame for sure.
He's an Islander lifer.
Yeah.
Everybody on the island loves the guy. He'll get treated the same way Cal Clutterbuck and Matt Martin do when they leave or they retire.
And Tavares.
No. Oposo had 614 points in 1,051 regular season NHL games for the Panthers, Sabres, and Islanders. That's a lot of time spent in the league. If you don't remember, he had a lot of concussion issues with the Sabres and returned from that to have a successful end of his career. He had 17 points in 41 playoff games, 7 goals and 10 assists, a couple of points in the Stanley Cup playoffs with the Panthers. He wasn't a point scorer for the Panthers in the playoffs, but he was a big part of that Stanley Cup final team. He 8 minutes and played valuable minutes late in games, and they leaned on his experience. It wasn't just like he was some forgotten guy. No, they leaned on Oposo right up until the end, and you love to see that. And he went out a winner. He's a winner. Imagine that. Like, what a cool career. And not for nothing, for a player in the National League of Color, that is a big deal as well for the African-American community in the NHL. It's just a big deal. Went out on top, successful career. He'll go down as one of the better black NHL players in history, which is really cool for the game.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
I concur.
Thank you. All right, somebody else.
You want to take it?
I'll take it.
All right.
My grinder this week is Marvin Harrison Jr. Following a
Not to be confused with Marvin Jones.
Junior.
Following a 130-yard game with 2 touchdowns to defeat the Rams by 1,000,000 points, 41-10.
Nobody's worried about the Rams, though. I concur. Continue.
60-yard reception as his longest of the day. But this isn't the reason I picked him as my grinder. I picked him as a grinder because he's a rookie, right? Second game of the season, right? Post-game interview, they ask him about his big day. What does he say? He says, I looked at the box score, and I saw that Kyler Murray, the quarterback, had 4 incompletions.
Kyler only had 4 incompletions.
And I believe they were all to me, so I'm a little upset about that.
All 4 incompletions were thrown.
What a mature response for a second game in the NFL after having one of the biggest days of potentially your career, honestly.
It's a huge game.
That is why he's my grinder.
Wow. I like the reasoning, and the stats back it up.
Yes.
Great game. Held himself accountable for 4 misses. No, it's not his fault, but it was to him. And as athletes, as all athletes, we know what that is. Like when I give up a goal, even though I know it's not my fault, I still gave up the goal.
This is something, too, where you have to think it's because he grew up around the game with his
course.
dad. So he's seen stuff.
He's a student of the game.
I mean, his dad was teammates with Dallas Clark, and it was him and Dwight Freeney and Peyton Manning, and it's like those guys were the pros. So it's like,
Nick, great job.
that was a good one.
Good cookies and good cake.
My Grammys grinder of the week, baby. He is fantasy darling this year. If he's available, get him on waivers, baby. This is wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts out of Cincinnati, Alec Pierce. I believe it's his second year in the NFL. In 2 games, he has 8 receptions for 181 yards. He's averaging 22.6 yards a clip, a long of 60, and he has 2 touchdowns. He got those all last week. Another big thing is he was a day 2 guy out of Cincinnati. He was Desmond Ritter's favorite target. And Chris mentioned how Kyle Okposo, very significant African-American player in the NHL. Alec Pierce, this is less significant. Wide receiver, baby. We love it. We love it. Thank you.
You don't see it often.
You don't.
You don't.
I'm not trying to. No, you don't see it often, and you gotta love it.
It's great.
It's like
It's not bad.
No,
It's phenomenal.
It's the way.
As we watch the Patriots play, I think of Wes Welker
And Danny Amendola.
and Danny Amendola
And
that's
Julian
right.
Edelman.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I had a few choices for my Grammys grinder. I always do in my head, and Greg the Leg was actually one of them until he missed that. Like genuinely,
Oh, Greg.
and he immediately left the list. In that
So
moment.
he left indeed.
Left.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, Nick and Anthony. Thank you for the cookies.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching and listening to Sports and Spaghetti. Please follow us on social media if you haven't already. We're on YouTube at Sports and Spaghetti, and do this.
Hi, it's subscribe to next video.
Thank you, Sabrina. She's getting famous. She is. She's 3. Happy birthday, Sabrina. Happy 3rd birthday. What a wonderful day we had at the Big E. I'm sorry Nick wasn't there. You ditched
Duty
us.
calls.
Yes. Just happiest of birthdays. I mean, I'm sorry you weren't there too, but you didn't get invited. I love you though.
I know, it's all right.
You went with other people. What about my parents? It was nice. We went with our in-laws. You know what I mean.
And you weren't invited.
And you weren't there.
I was stressing out watching the Panthers, so it's all
You
right.
didn't even have. You didn't have a kid. You didn't have a kid there. It would have been like whatever.
I could have been your kid for the day.
On that note,
Follow us on Instagram at Sports and Spaghetti Pod and on TikTok at Sports and Spag Pod. Thanks again for listening and watching. Yeah, Anthony, take us away.
I'm Anthony. That's Nick. Nope, that's Chris. That's Nick. Those are cookies. As always, take care of your loved ones. SpongeBob's parents weren't cookies. And as always, stay full.